Do a couple diagrams. You don't have to do them. Please don't draw them in. I just want it so you can see up on the board here. Here's segment A. Here's segment B. Here's C and D. A is equal to B and C is equal to D. Using subtraction. Subtraction now. Tell me which pairs I can subtract from each other, and the results will be equal. Okay, I'm going to call a couple people here. Tell me which line segments I can subtract from each other, and the results will still be equal. So this segment minus this segment is the same length as this segment minus this one. All right, here we go. How about 3? Okay, A minus C. If I take segment A minus C, that has the same length as segment B minus D. You guys are upper level. I've been telling you that all school year. So give me another pairs I can subtract from each other, and they will still be the same length. A minus C and B minus D will be the same length, and so will 3 again. Actually, here's for somebody else. 13.
A minus D equals B minus C.
A minus D equals B minus C. Good work, everyone. So subtraction, same as addition, except now we're getting smaller. And you're welcome today. Somewhere deep down, I found my heart and wrote in all this givens for you, so you're welcome. We just got to worry about marking the diagram. All right, given. Find angle DAC. Everyone see DAC? What did we call that angle? Straight angle in unit 1. What's it measure? Buck 80. Good. And it's equal to ECA. Look at ECA. That's also A. Straight. So it makes sense that we set them equal to each other. It's kind of hard to mark that. And we also know angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. We can mark that. So now, how can I get 3 and 4? Okay. What did you tell me about angle DAC? It's what type of angle? Straight, and measures how many degrees? 180. You tell me, as I go from this given angle to angle 3, is that angle getting bigger or smaller? It's getting what now? Everyone can see that, right? It's getting smaller. All right, only one way we get smaller, and now that is if we subtract. All right, I'm going to go nuts again. You can't subtract unless you have how many pairs of equals? 2. How many did I give you? 2. Can you subtract them? Yes, here we go. You just need to tell me how to subtract them. We're going to subtract these 2 pairs that I gave you, but it's got to be in the correct order. Give me 2 angles I'm going to subtract. Oh, 7.
DAC minus 1.
Got it. Angle DAC minus angle 1 will be the same value if I subtract. What other 2 angles? Oh, again, on fire today. Come on, let's roll here. ECA minus 2. Now I'm going to write what reason? Subtraction. Nothing's changing. What did we always do after addition yesterday?
Substitute.
Yeah. And did I tell you whether it's today or mid-March, anytime you write subtraction or addition, the very next step's going to be a substitution step? Always. And I'm going to substitute in angle 3 equals angle 4. So the toughest thing you got to do, am I getting bigger or smaller? That's what the toughest thing you got to do is. Because on homework tonight, I did sneak in an addition proof, FYI. All right, so you got to, all right, am I, from the givens to the proof, is my angular segments getting bigger or smaller? Any questions? All right, let's do another one. A little less information. All right, here we go. DF equals BE. However you want to mark that, this is how I mark it. I just do a little DF, BE, and put my hash mark on that. You don't have to do that, however you know. And look at where I need to go. I need to go to DE and BF. Bigger or smaller from the givens to the proof? Everyone, are we in agreement? I'm getting smaller. The segments are getting smaller. So I need to subtract. Are you ready to subtract in step 2? How many pairs did I give you in the givens? 1. You don't have anything to subtract from it. You got to tell me now in step 2 what you plan on subtracting from DF and BE. So look at your diagram. What do I need to subtract from DF and BE to get DE and BF? Look at the diagram. Look at it. I can't do subtraction now. I don't have enough to subtract. But what can I subtract from each? 11? What, sorry? EF. So I'm going to say EF congruent to EF reflexive. Now do I have enough to subtract? Yep. Tell me what you're going to subtract from each other then. 13, go ahead. What are we subtracting from each other?
DF minus EF.
Yep, equals.
Equals BF minus EF.
Got it. And now substitute in. So feeling good? We're feeling good? Any issues? Because I'm taking a left turn now. All good? All right. Let me show you where we're going before we start looking at something. Okay, here we go. I got line segment A and B are congruent. Tough test. All right, A and B, segment A and B are congruent. Here's what I'm going to ask you guys. If I took half of segment A and I took half of segment B, what would you know about those halves? Would they be congruent to each other?
Yeah.
Because the originals were congruent, right? All right, that's what we're going to do right now is if we take halves of two things that are already equal, those halves are equal. Another question before I go into back to the notes. Unit 1 vocabulary. Unit 1 vocabulary. 2 words from Unit 1 that would say you are taking half. Because it's going to be rare that I tell you in the givens we're taking half. You'll probably see 1 of 2 vocabulary terms that says you're taking half. What are one of those 2 vocabulary words?
Midpoint.
I could see the word midpoint or bisector. All right, so if we start seeing those words, we're taking a half. And that is your last fact for the day, along with subtraction, is halves of equal quantities are equal. All right, so if I have 2 things that are equal and I take half of them, those halves are equal. All good? All right, take a look. I don't need a diagram for this one. What do I know about AB and DC? Right at the beginning, what do I know about the 2 segments? They're congruent. Next, what am I doing to AB and DC? I'm taking half of it and calling it AF and EC. What should I know about AF and EC now? they're equal as well because the halves of equal quantities are equal. So AF is congruent to EC. This is not substitution. I'm taking half of two equals. So here's our new fact. It's up on the board as well. Halves of equal quantities are equal. You got to have two equal angles or segments. You got to take half of them, and then you can tell me the halves are equal to each other. Also, by the way, if you're getting nervous because these are starting to pile up, the test next week, I'm going to give you all of those on a sheet of paper. Okay, you'll have all those on a sheet of paper. It's just a matter of do you know how to use them and when. All right, but I will give you all those on a sheet of paper. All right, one more proof, and then you're on your own. It says prove R is congruent to S, so please don't mark that. Okay, don't mark that on your diagram. It says prove. We only mark the givens. Here is a given, though. Angle DCB is congruent to DAB. You guys want to mark that on your diagram? Just want to make sure we know where those angles are. Again, don't mark R and S. That's a proof. That's what we're proving. So hopefully we've marked these two angles here. All good? All right. I have a question for you. Okay, I have a question before we go into actually how to do this. And that question is, why isn't this a subtraction proof? Because look, here's the mindset I've taught you guys. I got these two big angles, and I'm going to the smaller ones, R and S. Agreed? Big ones going to the smaller ones. So why isn't it subtraction? Right? I'm going bigger to smaller. Why can't I subtract in this one? You got something in?
Because it's having, which is...
Well, you notice the bisect, so I'm taking half. So that's one reason too. But let's say I don't even understand the halves. I can't subtract. How many pairs do you need to subtract? Two, right? How many did I give you?
One.
Only one so far, right? The other pair has to be what? I'm just going to label them 1 and 2. Has to be angle 1 and angle 2, right? Because if I subtract 1 and 2 from the big pair, I get R and S. Do you know these two angles are equal?
Yes.
We do? Right now, do we know those two angles are equal?
No.
No. Can you pull a reflexive like we've been doing? What's reflexive for? The same exact angle. Are these two the same exact angles? No. So you can't pull a reflexive there either. So that's why we can't use subtraction, because you don't have a second pair and you can't use reflexive here. But I do know what's happening to these two angles. Keep reading the givens. What's happening to those two angles? 12, what's happening to DCB and DAB? They're getting bisected, correct. So I need to show now. I know they're equal. Show me they're being cut in half. Half, here we go. Rachel, going back to you. Just name one of those angles that's being cut in half.
DAB.
Okay, so half of DAB. You need to show me that's being cut in half equals, look at the diagram, half of DAB. I could write DAC here, right? Now don't write it down. I could write angle DAC, or I could write angle R. Both would be correct, right? That's half of DAB. But darn it, what's the only one I'm worried about in this proof? Which is the one I'm only worried about in this proof? I'm going to keep asking. At a DAC or angle R, which one am I concerned about in this proof? Angle which one? One more time, what angle? R. What are we, pirates? Oh, gets them every year. Gets them every year. Every year. Some of you still don't understand that, and I'll explain it in a second because pirates go R, and I was looking for angle R. Favorite restaurant?
Chipotle.
Not you, but pirates.
Red Robin.
No.
Double R.
You guys are awful. You're awful at this.
Krusty Krab.
Awful. Zero humor in here.
I'm trying.
Arby's? No. Favorite vacation spot? If you didn't get Arby's, they're never getting this. Oh, this is a fun time. Thanks for making this a fun time. Going? Argentina? No. All right, you're never. Favorite movie? Good luck. Favorite movie? Pirates' favorite movie. Okay, anything rated R. All right, moving on. What other angle is getting cut in half? Good fun. This is going to be a great year, I can tell already. Yep, a lot of good times. 7.
Oh, DC or DC.
Okay, so half of angle DCB. What are you going to call that? Because you have 2 angles to choose from. Everyone look at DCB. You could call it DCA or angle S. What angle am I really concerned about? S. I don't have a joke for that. Sorry. Angle S. Worked a lot better with the 9th graders yesterday. They had a ball with that. Why is this? This is not halves of equal quantities yet. What up here told you in the proof? What told you? Oh, I'm going to take half of those 2 angles. What in the proof told you were going to take half of DAB and DCB? Definition of bisector or bisects. All right, let's review what we've done and finish this up. What did you know about DCB and DAB, those angles? They're congruent, and we just took one of them. Half. What do you know about the halves then? They're also equal. And what did we just call that? We gave the halves a name. What did we call the halves of those angles? Angle R, congruent to angle S. It's not substitution. It's our new one. Halves of equal quantities are equal. But you need to tell me what's equal, and you need to show me you're taking half before you finish the proof. Okay, you need to show me you're taking half of them. I forgot to write in one thing. If you go back to that first proof with halves of equal quantities, we talked about it, but I just want to write it down. What are some key words you might see that say, hey, this is going to be a halves of equal quantities proof? Midpoint and bisects. All right, addition, subtraction, halves of equal quantities. Nate? Yep. Addition, subtraction, halves of equal quantities. That's what you're going to see tonight. All right, go ahead. I'll walk around. If you want, put your hand up real quick and say, hey, you want to look over my proof or I'm stuck, let me know. All right, you got plenty of time here. We still got 14, more than that, 18 minutes.